Greetings! Welcome to Saint of the Week, the show where we choose one saint's feast day from this week and discuss their life and their impact on the church. The saint for this week is Saint Francis of Rome, whose feast day is March 9th, this Friday.
Frances was born in Rome in 1384 to wealthy, aristocratic parents. From a young age, she felt an attraction to the religious life and wanted to become a nun, but her parents did not permit this, marrying her off at the age of 12 to Lorenzo Ponziani. Although the marriage was arranged, it was a happy one, as Lorenzo was a good man who admired his wife, and although Frances had been very reluctant at first, still wanting to become a nun, she finally accepted that this was God's will and became a good wife.
Marriage did not dull Frances's desire to help the poor, however, and she soon discovered that the wife of her husband's brother, Venanza, felt a similar calling. Together, with their husband's blessings, the two women would go about the city giving alms, visiting the prisons, and serving in hospitals. They also prayed and attended Mass together, and their example began to inspire other wealthy women of Rome to imitate them.
At the beginning of the 15th century, when she was 17 years old, Frances gave birth to her first son, named Battista after John the Baptist. Her mother-in-law died soon after, and the responsibility of mistress of the household fell to Frances. She tackled this job with not just efficiency, but also a spirit of Christian charity. Whenever flood and famine struck the land, Frances would empty their stores with her generosity. At first, this angered both Lorenzo and her father-in-law, but after their wheat, wine, and corn were miraculously replenished, they saw that Frances was doing the will of God and allowed her to do as she pleased.
In 1410, Rome was invaded and civil war broke out as a Western schism rocked the church. The city became a battleground, and Lorenzo, being commander of the papal troops, fought on the side of the true pope. Their son Battista was taken hostage twice. The first time he was saved by divine intervention, when the horse carrying him refused to move. But the second time he was held by hostile forces until peace was restored.
Chaos ruled Rome during the wartime, and much of Lorenzo and Frances' property and possessions were destroyed. Plague struck the city as well, resulting in the loss of Agnes and Giovanni Evangelista, their daughter and younger son. Frances opened her home as a hospital, personally going out to collect firewood and medicine. It was said that she had a gift of healing, with over 60 cases reported and attested to for her canonization.
After the war ended, Lorenzo returned with wounds so severe that he never fully recovered. Frances lovingly nursed him for the rest of his life while continuing to serve the poor. With his permission, Frances founded an order of laywomen attached to the Benedictines, called the Oblates of Mary. These women pledged to serve the poor, but took no formal vows so that they could live in the world and do their good works while still fulfilling personal duties.
In 1436, Lorenzo passed away, and Frances, at the age of 52, was now able to fully dedicate her life to the Oblates. Having trusted the care of the household to her daughter-in-law, Frances moved into the monastery she had built for widowed members of the order. She became the superior there and continued to serve until her death in 1440. Her body is incorrupt, and she is the patron saint of Benedictine oblates, automobile drivers, and widows.
The life of St. Frances of Rome is one of never-ending service. She constantly gave herself to her family and the poor and to God, even when it went against her own will. She gives us a perfect example of how to continue on even when we're wrought with suffering, and shows that it is entirely possible to balance home life and serve the poor.
Saint Frances of Rome, pray for us. Our honorable mentions for this week are Saint Lucius I, Saint Kieran of Sigir, Saint Colette, Saint Paul the Simple, Saint Julian of Toledo, and Saint Adelas. And of course, there are thousands of other saints who undoubtedly had their feast days this week, but there are so many of them that there is no way we could list them all here.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Saint of the Week. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Peace be to you.